Hey guys, Travis here at the very end of day one of Dreamhack Winter 2013, joined by Panky, who is casting League of Legends tournament here. Panky, I've been running around. I'm trying to do a little bit of everything at this event, so maybe you can give me the download on what is happening in League of Legends.
Well, the first thing out of the gate that some people might not realize, we had 3 teams drop out yesterday morning. I got to the airport and heard, yeah, we actually got 3 subs in now. So that was a bit of a spanner straight away, really mixed things up. But we still looked at the groups, and we had SK Gaming left, and a lot of people expected them to stomp and easily walk through their group. I think they kind of did too. So they came in, they went up against Lowland Lions and got caught a bit off guard, dropped behind quite early on, and ended up going for 55 minutes in that game. Jesse's landed a couple of very clutch niddly spears, and they ended up taking it in the end. But Candy Panda came at the side saying, not happy with that game. We played it very badly. That shouldn't have gone so long. We then had Lowland Lions play against SGC, who are a team that no one's ever heard of and no one could research. They just seemed to be a complete ghost team. And that game went on for 55 minutes too. So this SGC squad have really mixed things up. They did then just lose to SK Gaming as their second game, so their attempts at getting out of the group aren't looking strong. But as a team, they've definitely got a lot of potential. So we've got some rising stars coming out of this tournament.
Hey, tell me about how the tournament is formatted, because I think a lot of League of Legends players that, especially the ones that aren't familiar with DreamHack, don't really understand this concept of a BYOC. How does this work?
So we had our online qualifiers that ran through. As I said, some of those teams have pulled out, but that got us our initial 6 teams. So of our 2 groups of 4, 3 from each have been decided online, predetermined in those qualifiers. Those teams have then played today and done their 6 games, or 6 games total, 3 from each group, to decide where they're sitting. Now, while that was going on, everyone that's turned up, paid for their own way, brought their own computers, the BYOC, bring your own PC, has played a tournament here on the tournament realm. Riot's been very generous, providing many accounts to get those all on there. They've all been playing. They've been doing their best to qualify. We've got 2 more teams then that have come out the top of that will then go into the groups that have played the majority of their games today. Tomorrow they will play their 3 games back-to-back to decide how those groups go, and then it will go back into a normal quarterfinal, semifinals, grand final format.
So they have a little bit of a marathon that they have to go through tomorrow with all these teams that have some experience from today, at least on the stage. Any ideas as to if they have any chance of getting through?
Definitely. We've got 2 very strong teams, Intellectual Property and... I've forgotten the other one.
It happens. It's been a long day of casting.
It's been a lot longer than we expected to. There was some technical issues. But yeah, we've had Intellectual Property and Eternity Gaming. That's it. So they're both 2 well-known teams with some very familiar faces and names in there. So yeah, we've seen Dreamhack Winter last time, I say with Quickshot. We saw the teams that came from the BYOC tournament get all the way through the group stages after turning up on the second day, and then taking themselves to the semi-finals and challenging the likes of CLGU and Cursey as it was back then. So there's a lot of potential for these teams and a lot of expectations on these 2 BYOC squads to really throw things in and mix things up tomorrow and make it quite fun.
So let's say that I'm an American and I celebrate one of the greatest holidays in the world, which is Thanksgiving, and thus I have missed the first day because I was eating turkey with my family in a very wonderful holiday. What storylines are going into day 2, day 3? Like, what should people expect to see? They just missed it. What are they going to be looking at for tomorrow, at least?
Tomorrow we're looking at SGC to perhaps pick up their first win. As mentioned, they are a bit of a rising star. Yes, they're 0-2 at the moment, but that doesn't really reflect how well they played throughout the course of the day. Lowland Lions, again, had a very good showing against SK in their first game. They are 1-1, so they stand a much better chance of getting out of their group, but it depends how they play against either Eternity or IPG. I'm not sure which one's going in which group yet. The other group's a bit more clear-cut as to which way that's going to go, so there's not so much of a storyline to follow there. But again, both of these BYOC teams have a lot of potential and could potentially win all their games, really mess with how the groups stand.
Hey, by the way, remind me how to pronounce the Lowland Lions mid laner's name. It's Muros, or?
The top laner is Morsu.
Yes, that's right. Morsu. He was playing Kazakhs earlier, and I did get to catch that. He seemed to do incredibly well. Is he just an example of one of these really good players that are hanging out on some of the lesser-known teams?
I think definitely. We've got a couple of hidden talent top laners here in EU. We saw Zori Zero make an appearance midway through last year as one of those quieter ones. But yeah, Morsu had a lot of potential in there. His Irelia was incredibly strong in the second game. First game against SK. He had a great Kha'Zix, and we spoke to Candy Panda afterwards. They had to send Freddy 122 down there on Rengar to try and deal with him. Rengar had built a Sunfire cape, a Spirit Visage, and a Brutalizer, so a fairly tanky Rengar. But Candy said we sent him down there knowing he was going to die. We just had to stall this Kha'Zix for as long as possible. And he managed to kill Freddy 122 under the Nexus turrets, back up, finish off the tier 3 inhibitor turret, and finish off the inhibitor, while SK were pushing 4v4 in the middle lane, taking his own team. So there was a lot of skill and coordination, getting that dive off successfully, and still taking the base. Yeah, there's a lot of hidden potential in that Lone Lions Morsu.
So he looks to be maybe a player that people can look to and watch over the next couple of days to see, what he's going to be able to do.
Definitely, I think that goes for a lot of these teams too. While they are inexperienced, while they may not have that kind of years and years of experience that the LCS teams have got, there's a lot of teams here that, especially with the new Challenger stuff coming through, we've got to keep an eye on.
So maybe look at this tournament and see maybe this is the place to start becoming a fan of a team that's going to start rocking it in the next couple of years, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the LCS qualifiers are done, so they're not going to be in those. But yes, the Challenge stuff is really going to start picking up soon, and these teams could really make that appearance.
Very good. Well, hey, thank you so much for the update. You have anything you want to say to all the people tuning in, watching you cast and watching the tournament?
I want to say thank you for tuning in and casting to start with. Admittedly, when a lot of these teams pulled out, we weren't sure what the viewer figures were going to be, what the numbers were going to be, but we've still got a lot of great viewers, and Dreamhack's an amazing event all round. It's my favorite event of the year easily. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Well, I've certainly been impressed by Dreamhack. Thanks so much for the interview. You can check out the rest of our coverage of the whole event and more at ongamers.com.